Okay, hello everybody, and welcome to the first Phase 3 meets of 2021. Very happy New Year to you all. We're going to start off this year as we mean to go on with a fantastic guest joining me. So welcome, Emma O'Brien, who is the founder of the hugely successful Embridge Consulting, an exceptional leader in the technology space as well. Emma, how are you doing?
Oh, lovely to meet you. Thank you very much for having me here today, Asad.
No, not at all. Pleasure. Loving the background, by the way.
Thank you very much. This is my home background in terms of the virtual Embridge scenes that we've got, but this is the cozy one. So I thought I'll bring you into the home.
I feel privileged. I feel
Make
privileged.
it a little bit informal, you know.
Brilliant. Well, why don't we start by you just telling everyone a little bit more about Embridge Consulting and what it is that you guys actually do.
Yeah, sure. Embridge Consulting are based here in the UK, and we're an independent digital transformation consultancy, renowned for our expertise in ERP. Established originally by myself back in 2009, and we provide a range of services to customers across various sectors who need support and guidance in selecting and implementing ERP. But over the years, we've grown to specialise and focus in some key sectors where we've built up a lot of experience. So, you know, particularly public sector organisations, global commercial professional services, not-for-profit and higher education. So for the last few years, we've really sort of honed in on those sectors where we've got that experience. And, you know, we've focused on developing services and solutions to respond to the changing requirements in these particular sectors. But with the aspiration that we will be renowned for our expertise in achieving the digital change and ERP, but as trusted advisors, so as industry experts. So we really focus on that deep industry knowledge and then bringing that technology and matching up that kind of industry knowledge with the technology, really.
Okay, fantastic. And how when did you found the company?
When?
What
year? So back in 2009 was when we first, when I first founded the company, and it sort of grew from there, really. I think, you know, when I first started out, the aspirations were probably a little broader than where we've ended up, and as the company's sort of grown, we've been able to really kind of fine tune that strategy to really focus on those industries and those verticals that we know we've got, you know, good experience in.
Okay, excellent. And you're now a elite Unit 4 partner.
We are,
which is the highest level available, I believe. So congratulations.
Thank you
on that. How did you achieve that? You must be really proud of that.
Oh, super proud. I mean, we were absolutely thrilled last year when you know, Unit 4 launched their various different categories of partners for the first time, and you may have seen, you know, headed up by Beata Wright, who's heading up their global partner ecosystem. She's doing a great job, and you know, they really kind of you know, went out to try and, you know, put partners in certain categories. So yeah, we were awarded the elite partner status, as you said, it's the highest you could get. And in fact, last week we attended the Unit 4 Global Sales Kickoff, and we were awarded one of their 5 partner category awards as well, across like 100 partners globally. So yeah, I mean, what a fantastic recognition to our great team. You know, our experience working, you know, with Unit 4 sort of dates back, you know, quite a long time. And, you know, I've been personally working with Unit 4 as a product for a long time. So to get to this stage where that's being recognised is a really great recognition for all the team, really.
Brilliant. And what do you think makes you guys different to other kind of ERP providers out there? What is it that you guys do that you think others, or what is it you guys do better?
Yeah, I think, you know, you have to throw yourself into something if you're going to be the best. And, you know, we absolutely want to be the best, as I'm sure that a lot of, you know, consultancies do want to be. So I think, what do? You know, we really kind of recruit well. So we have a very good mix of very experienced people within our team. But we also, you know, I mean, that is absolutely key. You've got to get that real experience and that deep industry knowledge coupled with the operational knowledge as well as the technology. You know, it's not all about the technology. That's only really one part of the jigsaw. I'd almost say that's the easy part of the jigsaw, to be honest. It's all of those skills combined. So our team are a real mix of very experienced, consultants, and I think that was our starting point as we grew. We only really recruited experience, but as we've got bigger, we've now been able to invest heavily in the development of our staff, and I think that's really key. You can't not invest enough in the development of your staff, and having that kind of I suppose that focus between making sure that you've got a happy team and a well looked after team, coupled with that passion and that innovation to do brilliant things for our customers. And that's a real kind of difficult balance, I think. But the thing that stands out for me, the biggest, is we recruit based on innovation as well. I'm really passionate about disrupting the way things have always been done. Thinking of new ways to do things, and then kind of creating and inventing different ways that we can make a big difference to our customers. So having that kind of balance between having really good in-depth experience about the technology, really understanding the journey people have got to go on to be able to really embrace that technology, with that deep industry experience around process. I think that's what really makes us different. We're not just all about one part of that. It's technology, people, and process.
The whole, yeah. I love that mindset, by the way, and I agree with everything you said there, and the innovation part. I guess the people part, it kind of falls under a culture, doesn't it? A culture of innovation, a culture of having fun. You spend so much time with your work colleagues that you've got to be able to enjoy it.
Well, yeah, me too. Absolutely. We that term, you spend enough time at work, you might as well enjoy it. Absolutely. And trying to kind of make the working environment, the Embridge Consulting team for me are a family. Sounds a little bit cheesy, I know, but it does make that big difference in terms of actually being able to really support each other, to feel happy in what you're doing, feel rewarded, get value out of your job, and then your customers they get the benefit of that. Happy people make happy customers, as they say.
It's interesting. Somebody said to me once, I and we still use the term at Phase 3 as well. We're like a family in the lime green team and all this kind of stuff, and it does sound a little bit cheesy, I suppose. But when somebody said, I said it to someone, and someone said, no, it's a really good description, because families can be dysfunctional as well. And you have to make that family group work. You treat different people in different ways. You might treat your mom in one way, your brother in another way, your daughter in one way, your son in another way. And it's about mixing all of that together to get the same end result. And so actually, maybe it's not so cheesy. Maybe it's a very, very apt description.
It absolutely works. And in Phase 3 and Embridge Consulting, we're kind of niche boutique consultancies is the way that I see it. And we know it works because it's successful, and we're successful, and our customers benefit from the back of that. And actually, we have quite a lot of fun doing that in the background. We do social. It's a bit difficult to socialise now, but we still give it a good old shot, in terms of even doing it virtually. The Embridge Arms opens once a month, and we do fitness sessions and all those sorts of wonderful stuff. So we enjoy the ride as well as do great things as well.
I've got to say, I really love making these videos. For those of you who've seen the ones I did last year, about 10-15 of them, they all kind of follow a similar format, but primarily I enjoy them because I get to speak with people like yourself, Emma, who are fantastic kind of business leaders, and a lot of I pick up tips and tricks and experience from a lot of people as well. But I really have a passion for understanding how other leaders in business, and this video in particular, because we both run consulting organizations, how you got to the position, or how people get to the position that they're in. So I'm really keen to understand what your story is. In terms of, did you always want to have your own business? Did it just kind of happen? What's that kind of backstory to 2009?
Yeah, I mean, that's a really interesting question. So back in sort of 2008, 2009, no, I didn't plan to have my own business. That wasn't necessarily on the radar, and it did kind of happen to start off with. So I was working, so previously to Embridge Consulting, I was working in a sort of global professional services organisation.
Okay.
And I'd been there for 12 years. I started there when I was 19, in fact. And I had an absolutely amazing time there. I had lots of opportunities, very colourful career. I started off in a finance department with a finance background, and one of my first projects that I got involved in was selecting an ERP and implementing an ERP, and it happened to be Unit 4, what was Aggresso back in the day.
Yeah.
So that's really where I suppose my Unit 4 Aggresso journey started. But I, very quickly realised that I wasn't destined to be an accountant, and I really enjoyed this kind of system implementation project kind of work. So I then took a slightly different journey and got involved in all sorts of different implementations, from finance, HR, payroll, lots of back office, project costing,
Yep.
billing, CRM, all sorts of different things. But I was fortunate because I got involved in a business that was hugely successful. They grew significantly at a global level throughout the 12 years that I was there. Mm-hmm. So as a career, I had a really colourful career and I managed to get involved in lots of different things. But by the end of that time, I had 2 children. My youngest was only very young at the time. And I was reporting in kind of between the sort of CFO and CIO kind of level. I wasn't really going to go anywhere else in that particular organisation. And I knew after 12 years, I was either going to become part of the furniture or I needed to do something about it. And I've always been very ambitious. I kind of promoted myself in that time within that organisation. So I kind of thought, well, what am I going to do next? But I had 2 young children. So I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll do some freelance consultancy. That's what I'll do. I'll kind of set myself up on my own and I'll do a bit of consultancy because I can work around the kids. Yeah. Well, little did I know that work-life balance very quickly kind of took off, and it's been a juggling act ever since. But I set up Embridge Consulting originally to think about myself and what I was going to offer. And as I sat down and kind of drew it out and planned what I was going to do, I thought actually there's a gap here. I had a lot of experience working previously where we didn't want to pay the big price of the big 4 consultancies to come in. Yeah. But as an extremely successful growing international organisation, we had to get lots of suppliers in to help us with our various different digital change programs. And I became quite good at knowing what good looked like. And we'd had a few kind of hiccups along the way, but I knew what that combination of a team looked like. And that's when it kind of dawned on me, I could do this for other organisations. Yeah. And then it just sort of grew from there really into a breadth of services, a small team of associates that worked alongside me that I trusted. And we just became really good at it. And then the business kind of rolled into, becoming a little bit more established, recruiting our own team. And obviously, it kind of went on from there. But no, I didn't set out to set up my own business. And what I didn't actually appreciate is the job satisfaction I would get from seeing other people blossom and give other people opportunities in their own career, which of course is one of the benefits you get from running your own business. So the journey's been a little bit of a roller coaster, really. We're much more clearer in terms of where we're going now, but it did just happen to a certain extent, and I just took the opportunity.
And you must have, during that period of Embridge, you must have had some low points, some down points as well. Yeah. So maybe just touch upon one of those and kind of how you overcame it. Yeah.
Okay. I think probably the biggest low point that I went through was last year with COVID.
Okay.
Which is probably not an uncommon low point for many business owners, actually. Mm-hmm. And it was probably, because of the enormous responsibility that I felt for my team and the people that we look after, the people we employ, our staff, and making sure that we got that right balance between, keeping the lights turned on, but ensuring that actually the most important thing is their health and well-being. Yeah. And it was a life-changing moment as a business leader to kind of make some very difficult decisions around what we were going to do. And, the uncertainty that I think every business faced as lockdown first kind of dawned on us, and projects were disrupted and, procurements were being delayed, and you just did not know what was around the corner to a certain extent. And you've got a team of people that are at varying degrees of anxiety because they've got their own personal, worries, they've got family, they've got vulnerable ones, they've got kids, they're having to homeschool, all of that kind of stuff. I think that was probably I wouldn't say it was a low point. I think it was my most challenging
Yeah.
I don't think I got particularly low about it, but it was definitely my most challenging year. And I had to make a very conscious decision as an owner of a business about how I was going to handle that. And I set the stall out quite early, and I just sat down with the team and said, right, we don't know what's about to come, but I can absolutely guarantee that I'm going to do everything I can to ensure every single one of you keep your job.
Yeah.
And we are going to work together, and we are going to support each other. And I just ask everyone to just be flexible, and let's just, keep the communication channels open. Let's keep talking, reach out for support. And then I put in place, a pandemic team. Internally, we met regularly that I chaired, and, we did everything that we possibly could, as many businesses did. And I'm pleased to say that whilst we're not out of the pandemic, we're clearly very much in the pandemic. Everything in terms of the way that we're working is much more kind of normal now, so that kind of, whilst there's still obviously anxiety and still things that we've got to obviously keep an eye on, we've come out the other end of that, and actually it wasn't as disruptive as a business as we thought it could have been. And yes, whilst there were some difficult things that we had to go through in terms of keeping the lights on, the lights firmly were on, and we've actually gone into a very good year now. So the loyalty that I've got across the team as a result of that, is paid dividends. But that was definitely the most challenging year that I ever had. And if someone had said to me back in 2009, you're going to be faced with that in 2020, I'm not sure that I would have made that decision. Scared me off a little bit. But
the interesting part of that, I'm listening to that and I'm thinking the reason that it was so challenging for you is because you took such an empathetic approach to your team. Unfortunately, there are companies out there that didn't as well. And actually, then it's just a black and white decision, isn't it? He stays, she goes, or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But because you, and this comes across quite clearly as well, because you genuinely care about your team and they're your priority, then you take that on board, don't you? And that becomes the challenge. But it's quite easy to just kind of dismiss that and look after yourself.
I'm just glad that I didn't have to report into. I remember saying at one point to my husband, if we're going down, we're all going down. Who knows what's going to happen? I mean, we're pretty secure as a business. We've got a good. We're lucky. We've got a good cash balance and all those kinds of stuff. But actually, that could really quickly change if things didn't pick up. And my heart actually goes out to so many organisations that just haven't been able to survive or are still struggling. It's a dreadful feeling as a business owner. And so we were lucky and we've rode through it and it's been fine. But I remember saying to my husband, if I had to report into a whole kind of board of shareholders, then those decisions could have been very, very difficult at one point. But I didn't, and taking that empathetic approach was absolutely the right thing to do. I could sleep at night, and we've come out the other end actually stronger than we've ever been, really, as a result of it.
Brilliant. So, taking everything you've learned over the last 12 years, nearly, what advice would you give any kind of budding entrepreneurs, anyone kind of wishing to start their own consulting advice? There's probably not just one piece, is there? But if you had to give kind of your top two or top three or something, what advice would you give, Emma?
I think don't be scared to be ambitious. I think that's probably the number one. Confidence will get you everywhere, and I think I've seen that over the years. There's no way I was as confident back in my early days as I am now about our ability to kind of grow and get stronger. But actually, there's nothing wrong with ambition as long as it's well thought through and you've got the cash to back it up. Cash, as we all know, is king, but you don't realise that so much when you first set out, I don't think. So don't grow too quickly if you haven't got the cash to support it, because you will very quickly, even though if you win work, you're going to be out of business. But also don't be scared to be ambitious, because I think the sky's the limit for anybody, and there's nothing to stop anybody making a success. The other thing that I would also say is don't be worried when you make mistakes and you fail, because actually failure equals success in the future. I've made process, isn't it? It's totally part of the process, and we're very innovative, so I embrace innovation, but I also know that not every idea is going to reap the rewards that we set
Yeah.
it out, but some will. So failure is not a bad thing either, and just take it on the chin, but just make sure you learn from it. But yeah, sky's your limit. Make sure you've got the cash.
Brilliant. Great advice. Great advice there. So what can we expect from Embridge in 2021 and beyond then, Emma? What are your plans? World domination?
No, not world domination quite yet.
Not yet. So
in a couple of years
that will
time,
happen later. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really excited about this year, I've got to say. I mean, we've been so lucky to kind of work through the challenges of last year. We ended the year with a really strong order book going into 2021 and a really strong pipeline, and so that's all fantastic. So we're hoping to continue to organically grow as a result of that. We're recruiting quite heavily at the moment. We're continuing to look at bringing some more people into the team this year, so that will all happen. But we've also got a couple of other quite exciting opportunities that we're looking at in terms of differentiating and growing us as a business. So, watch this space, because I think it could be a really interesting year for us if some of these things that we're working on really do come off.
Fantastic. Well, I'm looking forward to following that story and to following that journey. We've kind of known each other for a while, kind of just without, obviously I know we've spoken kind of recently and late last year, but we kind of known each other in the background, haven't we? And our paths haven't really crossed, because we obviously more ERP, we're more kind of HR and stuff like that. But it's great to finally, be able to speak to someone and kind of compare notes. Almost, in a way.
I mean, you guys have done an amazing job, and I absolutely love these sessions that you've been doing. You've had some amazing people that you've spoken to, so I'm very honoured to be part of your series. Thank you for inviting me.
Not at all. We're going to move on to the quick fire round.
All right,
quick fire questions. So let's see how we get on with some of these questions. You ready, Emma?
Well, I don't know, but go for it.
Okay, so what's the best thing about running your own business?
The people.
Okay. What's the worst thing about running your own business?
Oh, what's the worst thing? Oh God, no. Having to make difficult decisions that affect my people.
That's good. Yeah. I'd agree that it's the hardest by far. What's the one thing you would change business-wise if you could go back in time?
I probably would have started recruiting people earlier and had confidence to actually build up a permanent team sooner than I did. I've relied on associates and contractors probably for too long. And if I'd just taken that step change, I probably could have, grown a bit quicker.
Do you know what? That's so strange. If somebody asked me the question, along with, I think I'd like to have maybe started with a co-founder.
Right.
Just to kind of share the headaches really, and to share the second one or joint would have been exactly the same.
Would it? That's really interesting.
Because we didn't start till too late, and a lot of reasons for that, probably similar to yours, in that business was going well and there's kind of no need to. But then you realise that actually, the business it's actually just me.
You
plus a few others.
Quality control is not really where it needs to be when you're in that position, is it really? So that probably actually, can I add one more thing? I probably would have engaged with a non-exec director a bit earlier as well, because the external input that I've had from kind of talking to people that are outside the business but that can give you that independent advisory has been invaluable.
Yeah, I think that's really key when you decide that you actually want to take that direction and to grow, because there's growing the business and then there's growing the business just from a numbers point of view, isn't there? And you can grow the business from a numbers point of view in an associate model and in various different models. But when you actually want to grow that business in terms of headcount and everything that brings, that external advice, absolutely key.
You only know what you know. You need that help.
Yeah, definitely. Which non-work app do you spend the most time on? Facebook. Okay.
Yeah, probably
I've
Facebook.
fallen out of love with Facebook, to be fair. I think
it's because Facebook.
No, I only set it up. I never had
an old
Facebook.
Person's app. I'm feeling a bit old now.
It is. No. I think it is. My kids wouldn't.
You're making me feel old. I don't do Instagram or Snapchat or any of those other things.
Yeah.
I can't. I can only maintain a certain. LinkedIn and Facebook is probably the only thing that I can maintain.
To the Facebook. Yeah, they're fair enough. Okay, what's your favourite car?
Oh,
Are you a car person?
not really.
No. Okay.
And I'm going to say not really, but I have a Tesla.
Okay, which one?
The Model S. Oh,
S, the saloon.
Yes, the bigger one.
Yeah.
That shows you how much I know about cars, because I had to hesitate then, didn't I, about what actual model it was.
Yeah. It's white.
It was hilarious. It was the only reason I've got a Tesla is because my accountant said it was the most efficient way of buying.
Yeah.
But actually, they're great cars. They're amazing. It's like a computer. So yeah, Tesla.
Brilliant. Okay. What's your best holiday destination, or your favourite holiday destination, I should say?
Oh, that's a hard one. With or without the kids?
Oh, do you get to go away much without the kids?
Well, not really, not recently, but I can imagine with or without the kids.
Okay, both. Let's do both. Without the kids.
Okay, so with the kids, it's Devon, Woolacombe in Devon. We have a caravan in Woolacombe in Devon. We have so much fun down there with the kids. Without the kids, I would say it's got to be a Caribbean island like Barbados or something like that. On the beach.
If Emma's children are watching this,
yes,
without you, she flies first class, to some Caribbean island, and with you guys, she takes you to the corner of the UK.
but it's actually it's really interesting because I've taken my kids all over the place. I remember we a couple of years ago we did this big holiday and we went to America and we went to Boston and we went to Cape Cod and then we went to New York and then we went to Iceland on the way back. Brilliant. And we were over there and everyone said the kids were saying we have more fun when we go to Devon. Oh, okay, fair enough.
I know. It's like when they're younger and you buy them all these little toys and bits and pieces and then end up playing with the box more than the actual toy.
Exactly. It's exactly that. Yeah.
There you go. Okay. Final question. Which cartoon character do you think best describes you?
Oh my gosh. I don't know.
Assume you probably don't watch many cartoons
I'm
nowadays.
Cartoon characters now. I'm not sure I can answer that.
Let's switch
to Betty Boo.
Betty Boo, okay.
I don't know why, but Betty Boo. Is that a cartoon character? That is,
isn't
it?
Betty Boo doing the do.
Yeah.
That's a song. But
I don't know.
Come from a cartoon character.
Okay, my mind's gone blank. But there you go.
Betty Boo. There you go. Emma, thank you so much for joining us. Honestly,
you're very welcome.
It's lovely to have you as the first guest of this year, and I wish you continued success with you and the rest of your team and everything that you do. For all those guys wanting to get in touch with Emma to understand more about Embridge, if you've got an ERP project that you want to speak to about, whether it's midway through or selection stage or whatever it is, contact you on LinkedIn. Is that the best way?
Yeah, Emma? LinkedIn or via the website or whatever you want to do. Yeah, either or. Brilliant, guys. And do the same with us. Follow Phase 3 and follow our YouTube channel. We're going to be expanding the kind of list of Phase 3 Meets videos that we do this year to include more consulting firms like Emma and Embridge, along with some startup and smaller HR tech vendors as well, rather than just the big boys, because it's a moving beast is the HR tech marketplace, and there's a lot of innovation there as well. So keep a lookout for the next couple of videos. And Emma, thank you again for your time. And thank you so much. Catch up soon. Take care. Cheers. Bye bye.